Hello, American Patriots, and welcome to a special edition of the Douglas Ducote Show. Hope everyone had a Merry Christmas. Before we get into the details of this show, let me bring up a couple of things. Number one, President Trump tweeted out earlier, "See you in Washington, D.C. on January 6th. Don't miss it. Information to follow." If you are unaware of what's happening on January 6th, look it up. Congress will be meeting to pick the next president as they count up the electoral votes and decide who it's going to go to. Several members of Congress have decided they will bring up the things that happened that were exposed as far as cheating is concerned with the election. So it's very important, if you can get there and get there safely, that you show up for your support for President Donald J. Trump. Myself and my wife, Marilyn, as of right now, are planning on being there. So hopefully we get to meet. The next thing I want to put out is that it's a matter of time now, possibly even after this show, that YouTube completely shuts me down. One or two things are going to happen in the very near future. Either YouTube will shut down my show and my channel, or I'm going to say the hell with them and I'm going to shut it down myself, because I'm sick of the liberal nut jobs that are all part of the Google network, whether it's here, at Facebook, at Twitter. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the censorship. So we shall see. What does that mean to you? It means that if you haven't already done so, you need to go to douglasducote.com and sign up as soon as possible with your email address. It is free. And join the other, ready for this number, and I'm very blessed to say this, 45,000 people that have signed up at douglasducote.com. So please go there and check it out. Now, let's get right into what today's video is all about, or today's show is all about, and that is what took place on Christmas morning in Nashville, Tennessee. An explosion took place. Thankfully, it only appears that one person lost their life, and we do not know who that person is. But fear not, the FBI is on top of it. According to the FBI, they did a DNA test with the family member of this person and determined that it's the person that actually is responsible for blowing up the RV. And how did they even find out who this person is? Well, according to their news conference today, or this evening, it appears that they managed to get it off the VIN number of the RV. Have you seen the RV? That was one of the first questions that was asked by the news media at the press conference was, how the hell did y'all come up to this determination so quickly? And I said, oh, the VIN number. And they went, from what? There's nothing left to that RV, or the whole city block for that matter. They would not say, just that that's how they got the information. From there, they went over and they searched the home. And excuse me real quick as I bring this up. They searched the home of a 63-year-old guy by the name of Anthony Quinn Warner that nobody's ever heard of. Anthony Quinn, 63. Possible motive, because they don't really know right now, but because they believe that's his remains at the scene, that it was a suicide. Now, excuse me, who in their right mind is going to go through that much work and that many problems to pack an RV with explosives and then drive to downtown Nashville, and broadcast that that this thing's going to blow up. Evacuate. Get out of the area. All right. None of it is making sense to me. Where did my mind go when they come out with this name of this person that nobody's ever heard of? Well, the first thing it did was it went to the 1996 Atlanta Olympics, which was in Centennial Park, where an explosion went off. And the FBI zeroed in on their man, Richard Jewell. If you haven't seen the movie, you should do so. The FBI went down a rabbit hole that wasn't there, looking at someone who had absolutely nothing to do with that bombing. And in the process, they destroyed the man's reputation for life, all the way up to the day he took his last breath on planet Earth. He will forever be known as the person who was responsible for that bombing when he wasn't. Now, I've been saying for a long time, many of you have as well, that there is a serious, serious problem with the FBI. I'm not saying the men and women that are out on the street doing the hard work, but their leadership is corrupt beyond belief. We know that. We've seen it all aired out for us in text messages, in email messages, testifying in front of Congress. It is an absolute mess at the leadership level of the FBI. Now, that being said, the last thing they want anyone to think about right now is that it's related to international terrorism. I was one of the first people that came out with a video Christmas Day talking about how it was possible that this was radical Islamic terrorists that did this. I'm not convinced that it wasn't. I mentioned on Christmas Day in that video that that's my personal belief because the FBI that we're supposed to trust now is the same FBI that just a few years ago came out and said that in about 50 states across America, they are actively monitoring sleeper cells of radical Islamic people that have come over here from the Middle East. So, what do we believe? What do we not believe anymore? CNN can't tell us the truth. MSNBC can't tell us the truth. And now we can't even trust Fox News for anything. The corruption is very, very deep. The deep state is very, very deep. The last thing I want to be known for when my time on Earth is done is be a conspiracy theorist. I hate that shit. That's why I do as much homework as I possibly can before I ever put out a video or discuss the matter. But I figured with all the crazy BS that's floating on the internet right now and all over social media about this explosion, and the FBI quick to jump out and say, we know who it is. Oh, we went to his house. Oh, we have a name. Oh, it appears he committed suicide. He blew himself up with the RV. Oh, it's a lone wolf. There's nobody else to be concerned about. Nothing. No, there's nothing to see here. I don't know about you, but I'm not buying it. Not buying it one bit. It is a concerned, dedicated effort by the Democrats and the liberals and the news media, for that matter, to have you turn and look the other way when it comes to radical Islamic terrorists in America. or, for that matter, members of Congress, not mentioning any names, Ilhan Omar and Rashid Tlaib, swearing in with their hand on the Quran, taking an oath to Allah and not God. You know, Ilhan Omar, the same person who came out and said that the real terrorist during the Black Hawk Down incident in Mogadishu, Somalia, was the U.S. military, not the warlords that shot them down, killed many of them, injured many of them, and then drug the bodies through the streets naked. Yeah, we can't look at that. We here in America have set ourselves up. I'm not saying you or me in particular. I'm saying that we are quick to turn and look the other way when it comes to important things that Americans need to be aware of and be cautious of. Sadly, it's all because of the radical left infiltrating our Congress and our school systems from kindergarten through college. We have liberal professors that are teaching that Islam's great, that Christians are evil, that there is no God, that the American flag deserves to have you wipe your ass with it, that America is no better than any other country, and it just goes on and on and on. It's like a freaking Ferris wheel that is spinning out of control, and you can't get off of it. And you know what? They don't want you to get off of it unless you come flying off of it and bash your head into something and you're unconscious for the remainder of your life. You sure as hell can't think for yourself or express your opinion on social media the way you would like to without being censored. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Now, what will become of this video? I don't know. Will they strike me for bringing this up? Will they take down my channel for bringing this up? Don't know. I know in the description of this video, you'll be able to, after I'm done with the live portion of it, and I upload it as a video, which happens within a few minutes of when I shut it down, you'll be able to see where you can find me on social media platforms that do not censor those of us that are conservatives and Republicans, those of us on the right. Wimkin, MeWe, Parler. I just went on Gab TV, just started that a couple of days ago. And of course, DouglasDucote.com. So, they want us to believe them this time. But we're not to make anything of Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, James Comey, all those corrupt, lying-ass bastards that were in charge of law enforcement, trying to take down a sitting president of the United States, a coup attempt that was exposed, and a Department of Justice didn't do shit about it, looked the other way. The whole thing with Lady Justice wearing a blindfold, there's a reason for that. But you and I both know that it doesn't work that way. If you're poor, you don't get the same justice and legal system as someone that is wealthy. If you're well known, compared to somebody that's not well known, you don't get the same system of justice. If you are a Democrat in Congress or affiliated with the Democrats, you don't get the same justice as Republicans and conservatives. How many people have you seen in just the past few years get ruined by the FBI? I personally have friends that have had that happen. I mean, tarnished for something they didn't do. And an FBI that at the time wouldn't listen to local law enforcement about the person that they thought was supposedly making bombs in their house and was going to be the next domestic terrorist. Instead, they go and bust down his shop and his house and raid everything, to realize that local law enforcement was correct when they told them that the guy's a military memorabilia collector. He basically has a museum of old demilled stuff. He goes around at events on Memorial Day and Veterans Day and brings all this stuff out to educate kids. They went in and tried to destroy that man, just like they did Richard Jewell. Now, who this guy is, Anthony Quinn Warner, I'm sure they'll be telling us many more stories in the coming days. But for right now, I call bullshit. I throw up the red flag. There are things floating around out there right now. I've seen them. Not reporting on it yet, but I've seen what you have, which is other videos from the exact same street, the exact same time, that appear to show something totally different, as in where the explosion started and how it came to be. I'm not going to go chasing that yet. More of that to come in the very near future. What I will tell you is every day is getting worse as far as recognizing the United States of America. We continuously try to remove history, whether it's Confederate statues. It just doesn't matter. We do everything we can to hide it. They don't talk about 9/11 anymore. We don't want to talk about and educate our kids on who was responsible for that. Well, any society that suppresses their people from learning about their history and mistakes that have happened are bound to repeat it. That's a fact. That's happened all over planet Earth. It's nothing new. But yet, right here in America, we're so guilty of that shit. By the powers that be, way more powerful than you and I, go out of their way to only let you see what they want you to see, instead of you being able to look it up yourself, educate yourself, and determine what's fact and what's fiction. Excuse me, that was my son's alarm going off. No. Anyhow, that's what this special report was about, to let you guys know that I'm not buying this shit, not one bit, not yet. Now, I may change my mind tomorrow. I may change my mind next year. But for right now, to tell me what I heard in the FBI briefing, that I'm just supposed to take their word on that, as a veteran law enforcement officer myself, besides my military service, and other brothers and sisters that I've talked to in the past 24 hours, that either veteran law enforcement or still serving in law enforcement, all saying the same thing I am. Bullshit. There's way more to this story than what we're being told. So, time will tell. In due time, all of the lies, all of the deception will come out. And when it does, it's up to you and me to let the people know about it. and I will continue to do so. Once again, if you haven't already done so, please go to DouglasDucote.com and sign up. Join the other 45,000 American patriots that are already there. I am so blessed that so many people want to hear what I have to say and go there to learn about this. Trust me, my friends, there's a movement here. I have bigger plans in the future, which we will talk about at a later date and time. But besides just doing my show and putting out videos, I plan to make a bigger impact for the good of America in my future. And hopefully it will also be a good impact, and it will help you and your family as well. As always, please say a prayer for our men and women serving the United States military, our veterans, our law enforcement officers, our first responders, their families, our angel families, our blue and gold star families, our president, and our country. And if you don't know what angel families are or blue and gold star families, I challenge you to please find out, learn who they are. We need to stand with them 24/7, no matter what. God bless everyone. Hopefully I'll see you in Washington, D.C. on the 6th. Take care, and thank you for joining me tonight.